Weather forecast said sunny intervals, no rain. So I came out today just to trim back that dwarf patio pear tree. And I got halfway up gardening and it started throwing it down, which is typical for this time of year. But I just want to get a little bit of trimming done to it before it gets much colder. Since now we're not actually getting frosts, is the best time to do it really. You don't want to be cutting it when you're getting frosts. It needs time to heal. We don't want frost getting inside that tree. So I'm playing that waiting game, just like I were with them church bells quite recently. Maybe it's going to stop all of a sudden. It's just that I noticed there's a few branches on that tree that are crossing each other, and that's something that you need to avoid, whether it be with your bushes or your trees, because they'll rub together in wind over the next few months, and that's going to open up wounds on those branches, which later on could lead to disease. So it's better to get rid of any branches like that as soon as you see them. So I'm just going to do a quick prune. It's slowed down quite a bit now, so we might be alright. So, while it's a bit quieter, that's the dwarf pear tree, and you can see every single leaf's gone off it now, just to be expected. But I've also noticed that we've got branches like this on it that are growing downwards, and I don't want those. But if you look there, it's also got some damage to it, so it's a good idea to get rid of any branches like that when you see them. And anything that I see that's like this, I'll just chop off as well. They're not going to do anything. I don't know what that is, but I'll cut it down anyway. But we've had to put supports in to hold these branches up as well, which is not ideal. It's growing too far outwards, but we are going to get lots of buds on there. So I'm just trying to look at branches like this. They're just growing up and then across, and I don't want them. So a quick chop, we'll get rid of that one. And this one at the bottom, that's also growing outward, but it's grown quite a long way. That's no good for anything. If we get any fruit growing on there at any point, it's only going to end up bending that branch down onto the ground. So it's quite a big branch, but I'm still going to get rid of it. So everything is now going up. We've got another one just there. It's going all the way across. It's only a thin branch, but it doesn't take much to start causing any damage. It's wedged itself across them two there. So that's when it's going to start chafing. So that little skinny branch can go. And I've also noticed that one. That's had a branch rubbing against it already at some point through here. You can see right there it's exposed, and there as well. And it's growing outwards again. So that's going. Same there. I'm taking that off. It's a very skinny branch, but once again it affects another one by rubbing against it. But not anymore. So we've got quite a few on there that are growing upwards, and they look alright. And as much as I don't really want to take that off, I think I'm going to take it off. It's got far too long, and to a point where even though it only had a few pears on it during season, we had to put that bar in to hold it up. So I think it'd be a good idea, if we're doing it, to get rid of that as well. Just trying to make as clean a cut as I can. There we go. That's that gone. So that can come out now. And that tree already looks a lot more compact. We've got some little branches here, very skinny. I'm going to get rid of those as well. And that one. There's one right at the bottom, growing outwards, very tiny one. So that can go. And there's a couple of what look to be dead ones there, they can come off. It's only going to encourage fresh growth by taking off these branches. I'm just trying to keep it nice and compact. There's plenty of growth at the top of there. So again, this one is growing way too far out, so that can go. I'm going to take that bottom one off as well. You can see that's got some damage to it. And it's also growing outwards. So's that one. It seems a lot, but you're better off doing it now. Just trimming it back, nice and compact. And from this side it looks a bit better now. But we haven't got one out there again. It's very long. So that's going as well. I'm trying to cut them at an angle. These little ones can come off. I think that looks a lot better like that. Once I've cleared all this rubbish up, that is. It's much more compact at that. And from what I can see, there's no branches really crossing each other. Apart from that little one just there. We'll get rid of that. So even if it gets a bit windy, it doesn't look now like anything. It's going to rub against each other. I think for now that'll do. We'll see how that gets on next year. Once you start looking at them, you do notice there's quite a few more branches that's rubbing against each other than you actually thought. So even though it's raining a little bit now, I'm glad we got out there and managed to cut that back. We've not got any minus temperatures threatened for quite a while, so that tree has got time to just heal while we've made those cuts. And it's now a more compact tree, and we've done away with all those branches growing outwards. That's one thing that we want to avoid. I did notice that at some point during the season we had branches growing outwards with fruit on, and they eventually sag down, they end up touching floor, and then they get attacked by insects. And then of course it's a free stairway for insects to get up to get to next fruit and on. So I'd rather just keep all that base as clear as possible, keep the plant upright and try not to let it get too big, at least for the moment. So at least we've got that one little job done this morning. And since we've got more cloud coming over yet again, I think I'm going to leave it there for today, and we'll have a look at what else we can do tomorrow. So if you want to keep following the channel leading up to Christmas and then into new season where we've got lots of plans, then please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and I'll see you next time. Take care.